of its process to meet the specific needs of the poor Indian consumer. Many current business models in various industries were configured for a different marketplace and time and will not work as well in the BOP context. As a consequence, new business designs should be innovated to create that are better suited to these specific conditions. The challenge of innovating from bottom up, however, will be the creation of sustainable and robust new business ideas and technologies that can cross over to the developed world. How do you marry quality, low cost, sustainability, and profitability simultaneously? How do companies tap the latent demand for products and services that are badly needed in these markets? The answer to these questions is possible through creative and innovative ideas of business leaders, practitioners, and innovative thinkers. Realizing the need for creativity and innovation to reach the unreached, JK Education Foundation is organizing this conference. The conference is expected to come up with many suggestions emerged out from the discussion in these 2 days. I welcome all the speakers and presenters from different parts of the world for their presence in the conference and hope they will enjoy these 2 days. The students of business management will also have a great learning. Let there be goodwill, peace, prosperity, and friendship prevail. Gentlemen, we have received some messages from President, Home Minister, Finance Minister. But I am not reading all the messages, but I was very attracted to read the message from Dr. Abdul Kalam. And with the permission of the Minister, I'd like to read that. I am delighted to know JK Education Foundation is organizing an international conference on creativity and innovation, breaking the barriers to reach the bottom of the pyramid. Inventions and discoveries have emanated from the creative and innovative minds that have been constantly working and imagining the outcome in the mind. With imaging and constant effort, all the forces of the universe work for that inspired mind, thereby leading to innovation and discoveries. The leaders and societal reformers should have the capacity to promote creativity and innovation in the minds of the youth, which will facilitate them to reach the bottom of the pyramid, leading to the inclusive growth and prosperity of the society. My best wishes to all the participants and success of the mission. Thank you very much.
Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Ashwin Kumar, Minister of State for Planning Commission, Science and Technology and Earth Sciences. Honorable Guest, Mr. Sunil Munjal, Swami Santamananji, and Saurabh Srivastava, ladies and gentlemen. I take this opportunity to introduce the theme of the conference. We all acknowledge that the bottom of the pyramid has emerged as a dominant concept in business ever since it was introduced by late Professor C.K. Prahlad in his book, The Fortune at the Bottom of the Pyramid. The bottom of the pyramid is the largest but poorest socio-economic group with a global population of 7 billion, and 65% of this population forms that part of bottom of pyramid. Out of the total bottom of pyramid population, 60% lives in India and China, earning less than $2 per day. These figures make a very exciting and interesting case for the corporate world. The producers across the globe today are fighting intensely for all the small numbers who are in the upper part of the pyramid. Corporate world has been too focused and glued to this segment for quite long, resulting into shrinking margins. If the corporate world has to sustain its profitability and market standing, it has great options in exploring this huge segment at the bottom of the pyramid. However, this would have many surprises and interesting opportunities for the modern managers. The existing business and revenue models may not be relevant and fit this segment. Serving this emerging segment world over would require a paradigm shift in the business approach. Companies in the world require to revisit their business processes and practices. It is certain that bottom of the pyramid market raises a new managerial challenges for the world's great companies to produce and distribute products and services that are culturally sensitive, environmentally sustainable, and economically viable. The companies that use innovations and creativity in the producing and distributing products shall penetrate this market irrespective of size, wealth, and brand reputation of the firms. This would require firms to operate at the lower end of the cost curve, helping them to have favorable price-performance relationship. India particularly is creating its mark on the global business arena by way of innovations in numerous fields. The Indian MNCs have realized that if they want to sustain an emerging market like India, they have to innovate to make affordable products for this segment. With this background in mind, we thought it appropriate to bring together the thinkers and practitioners on a common platform to deliberate innovations for the benefit of the larger section of the society. The two-day conference will provide opportunity to the academicians and practitioners to enhance and share their ideas, approaches, and thinking on the process, practice, and fostering innovations. We have made an attempt to put these ideas and thinking of the delegates in the form of a book so that it becomes a useful guide to the interested individuals. I am sure that the two-day conference shall achieve its objectives of sharing and enhancing the current thinking on the innovations in the country. Thank you.
Sir, now I request Mr. Saurabh Srivastava to please deliver his speech.
Honorable Minister, distinguished speakers of the dais, ladies, gentlemen, all of you children. You know, we tend to forget that civilizationally, over thousands of years, India has been one of the most creative, innovative, and entrepreneurial countries. We all know about the contributions to mathematics and science and astronomy. If we hadn't invented zero, there would be no digital world today. But it's been in other areas too: art, culture, even in religions. Two of the four most widely practiced religions in the world, Hinduism and Buddhism, originated in India. So we have been there all along. Barely 300 years ago, we accounted for 25% of global GDP. The same as China, the same as all of Europe. But then came colonization, and because of that, we missed out on the Industrial Revolution. And typically, that does happen in a colonization process. The policies do not encourage people being entrepreneurs, so we generated more babus than entrepreneurs. And so, from 25% to when we became independent in 47, our share of global GDP went down to 2%. And then we had our own experiment with socialism, and that brought it down to 0.2%, because we ceased to encourage innovation, entrepreneurship, creativity. We went into a license, permit, quota raj, where to succeed, you didn't need to be innovative. You just needed to have a license and a foreign collaboration. And so when we came close to bankruptcy in 91, and we opened up our economy in India, everyone, the government, industry, all of us, were convinced that industry in India would die. The MNCs would take over. And this has to do with the loss of confidence that any level of colonization brings. So we had ceased to believe in ourselves. See what happened from 91. The old DNA resurfaced with a vengeance. Industries that we thought were dead, manufacturing revived. Without doubt, we made the worst autos and the worst auto component in the world. Today, We export more auto components than does China. We had believed that MNCs would come and buy out all the Indian companies. Today, we buy twice as many companies overseas as they buy in India. And we have discovered first generation entrepreneurship. The industry to which I belong, the IT industry, I come from a middle class family. We built an industry from 100 million to this year 100 billion in just 20 years. And it's the envy of the whole world. How have we done it? Simply by being creative, innovative, entrepreneurial, doing a lot more with a lot less. If you look at all the leading companies today in IT, except for a few that are there from the large business groups, most of us started with no money at all. But we built companies of the same size and substance. Today, companies globally in IT are growing at 5%, 2%, sometimes negatively. We are posting 15 to 20%. So the reason I wanted to say this is to say that we have always been there, and we've shown that innovation and entrepreneurship does exist. Today we have a huge opportunity. And we have an opportunity on two fronts. Firstly, we have recovered and rediscovered our self-confidence. We've begun to believe in ourselves. We've begun to see that we can create enterprises, organizations, technologies, business models, where we can compete globally and we can win on quality, not just because we're cheap. Our big opportunity today is in two areas. Firstly, we have at all levels, bottom of the pyramid or even above that, one of the largest markets in the world. Even in the market for the affluent, we are among the top 5 markets in the world in many segments. What that does mean, however, is that Indian consumers today want a world-class product. The old days when you can sell them a car that barely worked, that's over. But they want it at an Indian price. And if you can get it right, the market explodes. That's what the mobile carriers have found. When we charged 14 rupees for a minute, and it cost $1,000 to buy a phone, there was no market. The moment you go down to the cheapest rates in the world today, we have 800, 900 million people connected. But see what happens. If you create a world-class product at an Indian price, then the price is not only in India, then the world is your oyster. And that is beginning to happen today. Models are being developed here, and our enterprises are taking it globally. And this is a big opportunity. And the second opportunity we have is at the base of the pyramid. We have, unfortunately for the wrong reasons, but we have the largest market in the world at the base of the pyramid. We should have it, but we do. But instead of seeing it as a place or a set of people who have a need that we service, I think we should see it, as Professor C.K. Pradhan said, as a place where we can create opportunity. And so today, if we create products and services that impact the bottom half of our country, whether it's having them involved as producers, whether it's having them involved as consumers, but things that impact their lives, we can create a transformational impact on the country. Because while it is true that at the top of the pyramid, we are now world class, we compete with the best, we do everything and live the way everybody else does, as a country, we cannot say we have progressed if we leave the bottom half of our country behind. And in industry, in government, certainly that's well understood, but that's understood in industry as well. And so our challenge here is, how can we leverage this? And I believe that the best place in the world that can show the rest of the world what can be done is in India. Because we have all the challenges of a developing country. We have all the challenges of having a large population that is below the poverty line. But we have scale. It's unfortunate, but we have scale. And so if we can do something right, if we can produce the right product, the right business model, the right service that impacts the poor, you can give it scale. We have several examples already. Mobile telephony, we don't think of it that way, that is what it is. It's highly empowered the poor. Today we have a connected country. Okay? 900 million people are connected. We have examples like the Arvind eye care system that does surgery for $25 that it takes $2,500 to do abroad. One hospital system does more eye surgeries than all of National Health Service in the UK, and with a better outcome. We already have separate examples. At the Innovation Council set up by the Prime Minister, of which I'm fortunate to be a member, this is the single biggest focus. How do we leverage innovation to impact the base of the pyramid? We have the same challenges. President Obama in the US has an Innovation Council, but they have trillions of dollars to use. We have a lot more work to do, but we have a lot less money. Only way that works is innovate. And the reason I think we will succeed, that for all these solutions for the base of the pyramid, we have a set of conditions that make it possible for us to succeed. We have scale, we have world-class entrepreneurs today who we can apply ourselves to solving those problems. So people who are solving the problems of the rich can apply themselves to solving the problems of the poor because we have scale. Today we have all the technologies we want at our disposal to solve this. Technologies we create, technologies that are developed in other parts of the world. We have 1 billion connected people. And we have a focus from all segments of society. And so I should just close by saying that recognizing this, one of the things that the Innovation Council is doing is creating a $1 billion fund. And the focus of the fund is to invest in ventures, in entrepreneurs, in innovative ideas that will actually serve the base of the pyramid, will impact the bottom of the pyramid, whether it's consumers or producers or whatever. And by doing so, there's a different class of finance, resources and capital that will be applied to the challenges at the bottom of the pyramid other than government grants, other than charity. So it will just create innovation and entrepreneurship as an engine to solve the problems that were otherwise only handled through hand-me-down. So I see a great future here. I see all kinds of entrepreneurs today who are engaged in solving problems at the bottom of the pyramid, but doing it in a way that it's scalable, it's profitable, it's sustainable, and has wide impact. So once again, thank you very much for inviting me here.
Thank you so much, sir, for sharing your thought with us. It has provided us with new thinking dimensions. You all are requested to please switch off your cell phones. Our next guest for today is now I request Mr. S.K. Munjal, Chairman, Hero Corporate Services Limited, for his address.
Minister Shri, Singhania, Swamiji, Saurabh, Director of J&K Educational Institutions, students, faculty, guests, ladies and gentlemen. My compliments to Singhania ji and his family, who have not just been outstanding entrepreneurs and business leaders in India, but have continued to push to help promote education, skills, culture, performing arts in many, many different ways. So we are truly grateful to you, Singhania ji, and your family for what you have done for nation building and I think for all of us. I didn't know this was going to be primarily students. I would actually have suggested or proposed a different format. Because we are fortunate today to be in India, which is heading to be the youngest country in the world. And for all of us, it is an education to listen to these young people. Their exposure clearly is more than ours ever was at this age. So I would have much preferred an interactive session, not just to be able to address them, but also to listen to them. That's how I believe